always live and always wild. Welcome everyone to the Africam Show. What an awesome way to start off. We're at Camphor's Dam at the moment, and you can see a whole lot of flamingos. This is amazing. It's me, by the way, it's Trishala, and I'm glad to be taking you on this voyage through the several cams that we have all around South Africa, so we can see what wonderful critters are around. Remember that you can send your questions and your comments because it is live. Let me start by saying that the only flamingo I've seen in real life has been at a bird sanctuary or similar. So I'm very excited that we have this many flamingos in this area. Or you can hear the distinctive honk that flamingos make. Awesome. So these are lesser flamingos, obviously differing from the greater flamingo, both of which we get here in South Africa. But the lesser flamingo, the one that we're looking at now, seems to have a greater population, or more numerous. And you can see that their bill is really dark. It's kind of a maroon. You might also notice that some of these, they all picked up their head together, all in unison. That's so sweet. You might notice that some are, they're quite funny, hey? Some are pinker than others. And we'll chat about why in a moment. Oh, we have some hellos. Lynn, hello everyone from the UK. Hi Lynn. I'm sure everyone else is saying hi Lynn too. And Helena says, this is beautiful. It certainly is. I'm spoiled right now. Andy, hi Andy. Hello one and all, says Andy. I love when I hear familiar names as we go about, because it means that, we're all getting to watch these wonderful things together and then also learn together, and we kind of have a conversation from all different parts of the world. Anna, you say good morning from Boston. Good morning, Anna. And Christine, hello from New York. Hi, Christine. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Whoa, Mary Momo. Good day from the boyhood home of President Bill Clinton, Hot Springs, Arkansas. Woo! That sounds like it should have been on a radio channel. That greeting. Anyway, as I was saying, you can tell that their plumages look a little bit different. And you might not know, but the iconic pinkish color that we get from flamingos, that we're so used to seeing in flamingos, is as a result of their diet. Oh, wow, this is wonderful. Here we have a very good example of how that beak or bill is curved in a downwards fashion to be able to allow the flamingos to strain their food out of the water. And they also acquire this pink color from the cyanobacteria that they eat, that they strain out of the water. And the obvious thing is that, but it's cyanobacteria, and cyano probably gives you the idea that it's a blue-green bacteria, algae, which indeed it is. But its photosynthetic pigments also include carotenoids, and carotenoids give a red, pink, orange, yellowy color. And that's what you see reflected in the plumage of the flamingos. Look with what ease they seem to stretch their necks back and clean themselves. The one on the left there is really pulling its feathers. When they pull their feathers like that, individual feathers, they're trying to realign all of the little barbs that are alongside the vein of a feather, trying to get them neat again. And when we think about the evolution of beaks in birds, or bills, I should rather say. We often think about just food source, but there's two driving factors. One is food source, yes, and the other is the ability for them to be able to clean themselves. So preen, align those feathers. They need to be able to do both those things with their bills. And here you can really see it working for the flamingo, I must say. Everybody's very busy, either eating or preening. Bob from Kalamazoo. Hi Bob, you say good day, Trishala. Good day to you too, sir. Rolling Trouble, lovely to have you on board again. You say hi, Trishala, from Washington State. And Alizia, wonderful, you say you never knew that they honked. Yeah, it's quite a distinctive little honk, and when you look at the size of their bill, kind of looks like they have a huge nose. Kind of makes sense. That's that sound. Hi Gwen, you'd like to know if the flamingos at the back are greater flamingos. Well, we can have a look in a moment. So greater flamingos are taller. They also weigh more. And they have a lighter bill. So we can have a look in a moment, Gwen. That would also make sense given the way that they're kind of clustered around certain places. Yeah, Rolling Trouble, you say that their beaks are amazing. Their beaks are amazing. So let's go and have a look at one of the paler ones at the back. They certainly look taller, but if we need to have a look at the bill to be certain, because obviously there's differences in heights and weights, sizes, etc., depending on the sex. So if we could zoom into one of those paler flamingos towards the back, then we can have a look. It certainly looks like you're right, Gwen. At least from what I can see of their bill. There we go. Oh, there we go. So you can see that there's just a black tip. So yes, those would be greater flamingos. Flamingos at the back. You can also see that their necks are kind of slimmer, shall I say. Oh, we have a bit of a flamingo fight almost happened there. So I would think that the difference in color might be the fact that I don't know when these greater flamingos have arrived, but perhaps they arrived a little bit later than the lesser flamingos. So then they're not. So the color changes as they feed. I don't mean instantaneously, but as they move along, when they spend several weeks here, several weeks there, that color changes depending on what they've been eating. So these gray bulls, you can see that the ones with the gray bulls there, and the kind of more fluffy, down-like almost necks, they're likely to be kind of moving into adulthood. We normally associate the gray bulls with juveniles, so they're making their way slowly. Anyway, I'm sure that you are all waiting to hear the update on the injured. I was about to say Indian flamingo. The injured flamingo that was seen here at Camphor's Dam in Kimberley. So I understand that this injured flamingo actually had its foot caught in a thorny bush, and so BirdLife was called, and they took the flamingo away to the vet. And I'm here to tell you that though it was touch and go, the foot was badly injured. The flamingo is at the vet, and is doing much better. So hopefully we'll hear an update again soon, telling us that the flamingo is A-okay and will be out and about soon. Oh, the flamingo in the background is giving itself a nice scratch under the chin. Oh, I love this. We are really spoiled here. It's such a beautiful color as well that those carotenoids offer the flamingos. And you can see that it's got that kind of almost orangey salmon tinge to the pink. Oh, that honking. I'm so glad that we can hear it so well. And now we're on to another avian dinosaur. It's just a bird. Fancy way of saying a bird. And we have our black eagle nest. Oh, look at that white ball of fluff. Looks like it's being spoken to. Look how its bill is so wonderful and yellow. It really is striking on a very piercing white little chick. This is so great. You can actually see, so obviously young animals need a bit of time in order to build their strength and their muscles. And you find with baby birds is that their necks are quite weak, and it's very cute when they try to lift it up. And that's especially true for bigger birds. So for smaller birds in little nests, you find that the way that they kind of sit in a squat fashion, so the only thing kind of sticking out from them is their beak. And that makes sense because they need to be fed. There's multiple of them in a nest that all are kind of begging for food. And here you have one that gets all the attention. Oh, off your parents go. I'm sure they'll be back with a little feast for our little guy or girl. We don't know yet, and hopefully this time it won't be a sibling. Well, it definitely won't. Oh, look at it move around. And look, from such a young age, it already knows how to use that bill. You saw it turning its head around, scratching its body. We really take for granted the fact that we have two free limbs. And every other animal doesn't have that, except for primates. When they sit, then they can use their hands, and elephants that can use a trunk. But otherwise, the only way to maneuver stuff, to touch yourself, to scratch yourself, is with either your mouth parts or your back legs. And that's why you'll find that sometimes it looks quite violent when predators move around their offspring, because they can only do it with their mouths. But you can be assured that they are very careful when they do, because that's the way in which they manipulate the things around them. They have very good control over it. Hi Gigi, you'd like to know what bird of prey is my favorite? I really do like Varro's eagles. I really, really do. Yeah, I can't say. I mean, I like martial eagles too. I can't, Gigi. I can't choose. I really love them all. Such well-adapted animals. And it makes sense because they've conquered uh, the air, and very few species have. Lisa White, hi Lisa, you say the chick is getting so big? It really is. And it's going to really grow a lot in these next few weeks as it plumps up and starts to move around a little bit. So much growth happens in the first few weeks of an animal or any baby animal's life. Shame now it just looks like a little collection of bird poo with that white. And it probably looks quite funny as well because they, like I said, they can't really lift themselves up, so they just kind of are splayed in the nest. Amazing. We had a question from Bob. Bob from Kalamazoo. How does their size compare to a bald eagle? Bob, I must say I don't know very much about bald eagles. A Verreaux's eagle is quite large. Females are almost 5 kgs, about 4 to 4.5 kgs. And the males are slightly smaller. They're about 3.7 kgs, so they're very large. But I can't say I know exactly how big a bald eagle is. I guess we're just going to I'm going to have to do some research and get back to you. Bob from Kalamazoo. Oh, look at it. I can't say that the white fur is going to make it warm up. Oh, yay, we have an elephant. I love elephants. I'm sure all of you guys have also do. I wonder if you have recognized any. Maybe some repeat individuals that come along. You can use the notches in their ears, like the edges of the ear. You can kind of use that. Some of them have an obvious pattern, some don't. But you can definitely use that to identify individuals. Well, things are definitely brown, but not as brown as I would expect. So you see there's a bit of green still there. And elephants will prioritize good green grass over browsing. And they'll try to get as much of that grass as possible before the grass dies out, because it's part of the grass's life cycle to die out. While with trees, they may stay green if the water table is high enough. Hi, Olajeru. You say, hello, good morning, everyone. This is fun. I hope to show this to my students next school year. Oh, you certainly should. It's such a wonderful tool to learn. And you see these animals firsthand. And we see quite a range of different animals, which is lovely. You can see it's moving its tail about, swatting away any unwanted pests. Not that pests are usually wanted. And it's making sure that the most sensitive areas, like the behind, where the skin is nice and soft and warm and protected by the tail, it's making sure that it gets rid of anything before it comes too close. Egyptian geese, of course. How beautiful. This is, we were talking before about how animals, they don't have limbs in order to manipulate stuff. If they do that, they have to sacrifice perhaps moving, or being able to stand up. And here with the elephant, you can see just how worthwhile that trunk is. It really helps the animal to continue to move, stay on its feet, and still eat. Hi, Bob from Kalamazoo. Thank you for that. You say bald eagles weigh up to about 14 pounds. So that's about 6 kgs. So certainly bigger than the Verreaux's eagle. So Verreaux's eagle, biggest is the female, and that's about 4.5 kgs. So thanks for that, Bob from Kalamazoo. Rolling Trouble, you say woohoo! I love Ellies and so happy you saw again last week. Perhaps you saw this Ellie last week again? Or perhaps you just saw Ellies in general. Oh, off it goes. Slowly following the trail of all the juicy, leafy, greeny goodness. Oh! Was that an impala? It almost sounded um, like a lion. Oh, this is great. So we've got some yellow-billed storks doing their thing here. And there's an African spoonbill. I saw quite a frantic spoonbill recently. Usually birds that wade, so birds that move through the water with long legs and try not to disturb those things underneath them and then snap them up with their bill. Usually they have to walk quite slowly and in a calculated fashion. But the spoonbill I saw the other day was just so hungry, I'm assuming, that it was frantically moving through the water. And of course they do that. They'll move slowly and then shake up one portion of the mud or the sediment, and then little invertebrates kind of move around and then they snap them up. But they tend not to just kind of shake up everywhere they go. And of course these yellow-billed storks are looking quite comfortable. They're sharing their space with the spoonbill. There were a couple more there as well, but the impalas had a bit of a go at them. There we see one coming into shot now. So the impalas are, the peak of the rutting season is over, but all those hormones are still coursing around. So you'll still see some pretty territorial behavior. They'll still be quite noisy, and that's probably what we heard when we just came to Tau here. Oh, I'd love to have a nice look around. This is where we saw the zebra that one time, eating some of the soil on the sides of this the water. Oh, look at that! It's a waterbuck. How sweet! Hi, John. You'd like to know, as a guide, do you ever get bored of the bush, or is there always something you find interesting, or find interest in, like grass? I like that end bit. There's always something to find interesting. What I noticed most is it's the same things that you find interesting. It's just you find out different things about them as you get more in depth, and your base knowledge gets wider and wider and wider. And I especially like to know, like, the nitty-gritty. I like to know the mechanism for things. I like to know the structure of things, of fur, of horns, of grass, for that matter, since you brought up grass. Grass is a very, very interesting plant. There we go. Well done, Trishala. I love when we get to see a wide variety of animals in one area. It's just that this is what the bush is. It's not always lions and leopards. It's just seeing all these animals that are occupying different niches, all just kind of chilling together. We've had such variety today. Lots of birds, different antelopes. Oof, the flamingos has to take the cake for me, because they're very special. This waterbuck is a beaut too, though. Oh, great. Some hippos enjoying the Olifants River. They look like rocks in the water when they're very, very still. So John, back to your question. This is a good example. So hippo is a hippo, you know. We know it eats grass. We know that it goes out to graze at night. We know that they have these barrel-like bodies, that they're very large, that they, you know, are amphibious, they are in water and on land, and that they don't swim. So those are things that we generally know about hippos. But I like to know about the nitty-gritty stuff. So we also know that they exude these chemicals in order to help them protect themselves from the sun. And we just call it, you know, a hippo sunscreen. But there's also, you know, there's two chemicals that are involved in that, hipposudoric acid and non-hipposudoric acid. And they're quite unique to hippos, which is why they have hippo in their name. And that's the kind of thing that keeps me engaged all the time, because I like to know that nitty-gritty. Hey, Tris Zop. Sorry about that. Tris Zop. There we go. Grass is very interesting for many. Thank you. It is very interesting for many. It is a very interesting species that is quite a newcomer when it in regards to other plant species on the planet. Well, these hippos could be up to something. Perhaps they are a bit interested in each other. Maybe mating is on the cards. Certainly there's enough water to keep them happy. Oh, somebody's making a move. Nope, not this time. But I'm sure you could, if you spend a little time watching them, you might find that they'd be mating. What a wonderful time spent with all of you and the cams around Africa. We had such variety, like I said. And I always love your questions and your comments and spending this time with you. So thanks, everybody. It's time to say goodbye, and I'll see you next time.